Alright, so in this video I'm going to give a little tutorial on how to differentiate between Fraxinus americana and Fraxinus pennsylvanica. So just a little background on these two species. Fraxinus americana is commonly known as white ash, and Fraxinus pennsylvanica is commonly known as green ash trees. And both of these species usually occur in similar habitats, and they have very similar compound leaves. So it's kind of a key thing to know to how to differentiate between these features because they live in the same habitats. And if you're wanting to know which type it is, it can be kind of hard to tell if you don't know these key characteristics. So again, this is going to be a simple approach for beginners. I know I definitely didn't know any of these terms before I took a botany class, so I thought I'd take a simple approach to this video. And I'm just going to talk about how you can identify the petiole, the leaflets, and the bark. And I think those three things can get you to the conclusion of what species this ash tree is, either green or white. So starting with the leaflets and petioles, these two things are going to be key in differentiating between the two different types of species. The leaflets can be defined as a leaf-like part of a leaf, but it's not coming from the main stem of the branch. It's actually coming from the petiole. So that, I guess then we'll need to talk about what a petiole is. So the petioles are just the stalk that joins a leaf to the stem. So here in my pointer, you got the stem here, and then the petiole that's branching off and giving rise to the leaf. And then here would be another petiole, there'd be a stem right there, and then that's giving rise to the leaflets. So the leaflets are coming off of the petiole. So you can see here the original stem, the petiole's branching off, and there's more petioles. All of this yellow part right here is giving rise to those many small leaflets coming off of it there. So these two things are going to be key to understanding how to differentiate the two. So in white ash, the leaflets are going to be attached by long petioles here. So you can see how that's kind of, you definitely have a gap. There's probably a little bit of the petiole and then the leaf. And the base of the leaflet is very clear and distinct. So you can see that long petiole is going to be a key feature, especially when I show you these next pictures. So green ash, see how much shorter the petiole is there. It doesn't have as much space between the leaflet and the stem. There's just a very short petiole that's attached between them, shown in all of these pictures. And the leaflets tend to taper at the base, as you can see there. And then just a little background on bark. Most people know what bark is, but it's just the outermost layer of stems and roots for the woody plants. And that's going to be key in identifying the white ash and green ash bark. So white ash bark is going to have very long, narrow ridges, as you can see here. And then the ridges are going to alternate between valleys. So the valleys are going to be just the deep holes within the bark. So it's going to go ridge, valley, back and forth, all around. And this bark is going to be super firm to the touch. But as you can see there's just going to be ridges with deep valleys in between. Whereas the green ash bark, you're going to see horizontal cracks in it, shown like right here and here and here. And the ridges and valleys are not as deep if the tree is of similar age. So like as you can see here, you're definitely still having ridges right here, and then the valleys are those cracks. But the cracks are not as near as deep as shown previously. And again, it's not as firm to the touch. So this was just a brief presentation on how you can use these simple botany terms to differentiate between these two types of ash species.